I'm going to tell you about the worst moment of my life, but first I need you to understand how we got there. I need you to understand who I thought my husband was, what I thought our marriage was, so you can understand why seeing that photo felt like my heart was being ripped out of my chest. My name's Jennifer, and I'm 34 years old. I've been married to Tom for 8 years, together for 10. We have 2 kids, Emma, who's 6, and Lucas, who's 4. We live in a nice suburb, both have good jobs, the whole picture-perfect life that everyone dreams about. Or at least that's what I thought we had. Tom and I met in our mid-20s at a mutual friend's wedding. I was a bridesmaid, he was a groomsman. We spent the whole reception talking, laughing, dancing. He was handsome, funny, successful. He worked in finance and seemed to have his life together. I was working as a teacher and still figuring things out. He made me feel special, like I was the only person in the room. We dated for 2 years before he proposed. It was romantic, perfect, everything I'd imagined. He took me back to the venue where we'd met and got down on one knee right where we'd had our first dance. I said yes, immediately. We got married a year later in front of all our friends and family. It was the happiest day of my life. The first few years of marriage were good. Really, gee. We bought a house, both advanced in our careers. I got pregnant with Emma 2 years in, and Lucas came along 2 years after that. Tom was a good dad, attentive, involved. He coached Lucas's Little League team, never missed Emma's dance recitals. He was everything I'd wanted in a husband and father. But somewhere around year 6, things started to change. Small things at first. Tom started going out more with his friends. Guys, nights that used to happen once a month became weekly. Weekend golf trips became more frequent. He was always on his phone, always texting, always busy with something. I didn't think much of it at first. He worked hard, he deserved to have fun with his friends, and he was still a good dad. Still came home every night, still told me he loved me. I trusted him completely. His best friend group consisted of 4 guys he'd known since college. There was Mike, his roommate from freshman year, Dan, who'd been in his fraternity, Steve, who worked at the same company, and Jason, who he'd played intramural basketball with. These guys were like brothers to him. They did everything together. I knew all their wives and girlfriends. We'd have barbecues together, celebrate holidays, go on group vacations. They had this tradition of doing an annual guys trip. Every year they'd go somewhere for a long weekend, just the 5 of them. Usually it was something outdoorsy like fishing or hiking or camping. Tom always came back exhausted but happy, with stories about the fish they caught or the trails they hiked or the terrible food they cooked over the campfire. I thought it was great. Men need guy time. Right? They need to bond, to have experiences without their wives and kids around. I encouraged it. Every year when the trip came up, I'd help him pack, tell him to have fun, take care of the kids solo while he was gone. I was such a fool. This year, the guys' trip was planned for late June. Tom told me they were going to this lake up north, some remote place that one of the guys' uncles owned a cabin near. They'd be fishing, grilling, drinking beer, the usual. He seemed excited about it. Kept talking about how much he needed the break from work, stress. The week before the trip, I helped him pack fishing gear, old clothes that could get dirty, sunscreen, bug spray, all the stuff you'd need for a rustic fishing trip. He kissed me goodbye Friday morning, told the kids to be good for mommy, and drove off with his duffel bag and fishing rod. I spent the weekend doing mom stuff, took the kids to the park, had a play date with Emma's friend, made Lucas's favorite dinner. It was a normal weekend. I texted Tom a few times, asking how the fishing was going. He'd respond with short messages. Good. Caught a few. Weather's nice. Miss you guys. Sunday afternoon, I was scrolling through Instagram while the kids watched a movie. I was just mindlessly looking at posts, not really paying attention. Then I saw something that made me stop cold. It was a post from a restaurant, one of those fancy beach resort restaurants that tags people in their photos. The kind of place that takes pictures of couples at romantic dinners and posts them on social media. The caption said something about celebrating love and beautiful sunsets. And there in the photo, sitting at a candlelit table on a beachfront terrace, was my husband Tom, with a woman I had never seen before. They were holding hands across the table. She was beautiful, blonde, probably in her late 20s. She was wearing a sundress and laughing at something. Tom was looking at her the way he used to look at me. In the background, you could see the ocean, palm trees, string lights. This wasn't a fishing cabin. This was a romantic beach resort. I felt like I couldn't breathe. I stared at the photo, trying to make sense of it. Maybe it was someone who looked like Tom, but no, It was definitely him. I could see the watch I'd given him for his birthday on his wrist. He was wearing the blue shirt I'd bought him last month. I clicked on the restaurant's location tag. It was in Florida, a luxury resort town on the coast, not a fishing cabin up north, not anywhere near where he said he'd be. My hands were shaking as I clicked through to see who else was tagged in the photo. The woman's profile was public. Her name was Vanessa. I scrolled through her Instagram and felt sicker with every post. There were photos of her and Tom going back months, at restaurants, at bars, at the beach. In so many of them, he had his arm around her, and others, they were kissing. There was one from last month at what looked like a concert, one from 2 months ago at a fancy hotel, one from 3 months ago at a winery. This wasn't new. This wasn't a one-time thing. He'd been seeing this woman for months, maybe longer. And then I saw the most recent posts from this weekend. They were at the resort together. Photos of them at the pool, at the beach, having breakfast on a balcony overlooking the ocean. She'd tagged the resort. I looked it up. It was a 5-star romantic getaway. The kind of place couples go for anniversaries or honeymoons. While I thought my husband was fishing with his buddies, he was actually at a luxury beach resort with his mistress. I sat there on the couch with my phone in my hand, watching my kids watch TV, and I felt my entire world crumbling around me. Everything I thought I knew was a lie. My marriage was a lie. The guy's trip was a lie. Probably other trips had been lies too. I wanted to call him right then and scream at him, but I forced myself to think clearly. I needed more information. I needed to understand the full extent of this before I confronted him. I looked up the other guys, Mike, Dan, Steve, Jason. I went through their social media. None of them had posted anything about a fishing trip. No photos of lakes or cabins or fish. Nothing. Then I found something on Mike's Instagram story, a photo from that same day, Saturday. He was at a kid's birthday party with his wife and their daughter. Not on a fishing trip. He was home. I checked Dan's. He'd posted a photo from a local brewery with his girlfriend. Also not on a fishing trip. Steve had posted from a baseball game he'd gone to with his dad. Jason had posted from his own backyard where he was grilling dinner. None of them were on this fishing trip. The guy's trip was completely made up. Tom had lied about the entire thing, but that meant the other guys knew. They had to know if Tom wasn't with them, if he'd made up this whole story about a guy's trip, then they knew he was lying. They were covering for him. I felt betrayed all over again. These were guys I'd known for years, guys whose weddings I'd been to, guys whose kids played with my kids, and they'd been helping Tom cheat on me. I took screenshots of everything, the restaurant photo, Vanessa's Instagram posts, the photos of her and Tom together over the past months, the posts from the other guys proving they weren't on a trip. I saved everything to a cloud drive. Then I called my sister. I needed someone to talk to before I lost my mind completely. She answered on the second ring. Hey, what's up? Tom's cheating on me. The words came out flat, emotionless. I was in shock. What? Are you sure? I told her everything. The Instagram post, Vanessa, the fake fishing trip, all of it. She was silent for a long moment. That bastard, she finally said, where are the kids? Watching a movie. They don't know anything. Do you want me to come over? No, not yet. I need to figure out what to do. He comes back tomorrow. I need a plan. We talked for over an hour. She helped me think through my options. Confront him immediately. Wait and gather more evidence. Kick him out. I didn't know what the right move was. Finally, I decided I needed to talk to the other wives first. Because if the guys were covering for Tom, what else were they covering for? Were the other husbands cheating too? Or did they just think it was okay to help their friend betray his wife? I started with Karen, Mike's wife. We'd been friends for years. Our kids were in the same class at school. I called her that night after I put the kids to bed. Hey Karen, can I ask you something? Of course, what's up is Mike home this weekend. There was a pause. Yeah, he's here. Why? Tom told me he was on a fishing trip with Mike and the guys, but I just saw Mike's Instagram story from the birthday party yesterday. Another pause. Longer this time. That's all you have to say. Jennifer, I don't know what to tell you. Did you know Mike wasn't actually on a fishing trip? Did you know Tom lied to me about where he was? I knew Mike was home this weekend? Yes. And you didn't think to mention that to me. You didn't think I deserved to know my husband was lying? It's not my place to get involved in your marriage, but it's your place to let your husband help mine cheat. Because that's what this is. Karen, Mike helped Tom lie to me so he could go off with another woman? I don't know anything about another woman. Well, I do. I found her Instagram. They're at a beach resort together right now, and all the guys knew. They all covered for him. Karen was quiet. I'm sorry, she finally said. I didn't know about another woman. I just knew Tom asked Mike to cover for him if he called. Mike didn't like it, but Tom's his best friend. So friendship is more important than doing the right thing. More important than letting me know my husband is betraying me. I'm really sorry, Jennifer. I didn't know what to do. I hung up on her. I was so angry. I was shaking. I called the other wives next. Similar conversations. They all knew the guys weren't really on a fishing trip. None of them had told me. They'd all chosen to protect their husbands and Tom instead of being honest with me. By the time I was done making calls, I was done crying. I was just angry. Furious at Tom. Furious at his friends. Furious at their wives who'd let this happen. Tom was supposed to come home Monday afternoon. I spent all day Monday preparing. I printed out the Instagram photos. I made a timeline of all the lies. I called a divorce lawyer and made an appointment for later in the week. I arranged for my sister to pick up the kids from school and keep them for the evening. When Tom walked in the door at 5 o'clock, tanned and relaxed, with his duffel bag and fishing rod, I was waiting for him at the kitchen table. Hey babe, he said, smiling. Miss me. Sit down, I said. Something in my voice made him pause. What's wrong? Sit down, Tom. He sat, looking confused and a little worried. What's going on? I slid the printed photos across the table. How was your fishing trip? I watched his face as he looked at the photos. I watched the color drain away. I watched him realize he'd been caught. Jennifer, I can explain why you lied about going fishing when you were actually at a beach resort with your mistress. Explain the months of photos of you with this woman. Explain how all your friends helped you lie to me. Which part do you want to explain first? It's not what it looks like. I laughed, but there was no humor in it. It's exactly what it looks like. You're having an affair. You've been having an affair for months, and you've been using fake guys' trips as cover. I was going to end it when, before or after this romantic beach vacation, he put his head in his hands. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. How long? I asked. How long has this been going on? About 6 months. And the other guys' trips, were those fake too? He didn't answer, which was an answer in itself. How many times, Tom, how many times did you tell me you were with your friends when you were actually with her? I don't know. A few times. So our entire marriage for the past 6 months has been a lie. No, that's not true. I love your kids. This thing with Vanessa, it just happened. I didn't plan it. You didn't plan it. You planned an entire fake fishing trip. You got your friends to cover for you. You've been lying to me for months. That sounds pretty planned to me. I mean, I didn't plan to fall for her. It started as just a work thing. We were on a project together, and then we started talking more, and things developed a work thing. So you're cheating on me with someone from work. She's in our marketing department. We had to work together on a campaign, and all your friends knew about this. They've all been helping you sneak around. He nodded miserably. So when I called Mike or Dan to chat, when I saw their wives at school pick up, when we all had barbecues together, everyone knew except me. I was the only idiot who didn't know her husband was cheating. They didn't want to know. I put them in a bad position. No, you put me in a bad position. You betrayed me. You do me. You made a fool of me in front of all our friends. What do you want me to do? I'll end it with Vanessa. I'll do whatever it takes to fix this. You can't fix this. Tom, you destroyed this. 8 years of marriage, 2 kids, a whole life together, and you threw it away for some woman from work. Please, Jennifer, think about Emma and Lucas. Think about our family. I am thinking about them. I'm thinking about how I don't want them growing up believing this is what marriage looks like. I don't want Emma thinking it's okay for men to lie and cheat. I don't want Lucas thinking this is how you treat someone you love. So what are you saying? I'm saying I want a divorce. I already called a lawyer. I have an appointment this week. Tom started crying then. Actual tears. Please don't do this. I'll do anything. Counseling, therapy, whatever you want. Just don't leave me. You left me first. The moment you started sneaking around with Vanessa, the moment you lied about the guy's trip, the moment you chose her over our family, I chose wrong. I know I chose wrong, but I'm choosing you now. I'm choosing our family. It's too late. I deserve better than this. I deserve someone who doesn't lie to me. Someone who doesn't make me look like a fool in front of our entire social circle. Someone who actually keeps the promises he made to me. I stood up. I want you to pack a bag and leave. Go stay with one of your friends, since they're so good at covering for you. I'll let you know when you can come back to get more of your stuff. Where are the kids? With my sister. I didn't want them here for this. Can I see them? Eventually, but not tonight. Tonight, you need to leave. He tried to argue, tried to convince me to give him another chance, but I was done. I'd made up my mind. He'd had months to choose me, and he chose Vanessa instead. Now I was choosing myself. He finally packed a bag and left. I watched him drive away and felt nothing. No sadness, no regret, just emptiness where my marriage used to be. Over the next few weeks, more details came out. Tom had been having the affair for longer than 6 months. It had actually been over a year. There had been other fake guys trips, fake work trips, fake late nights at the office. Vanessa wasn't even the first. There had been another woman before her, though that one apparently didn't last as long. The other wives slowly admitted they'd known more than they initially said. They'd seen Tom out with other women. They'd heard things from their husbands, but they'd all stayed quiet, not wanting to get involved, not wanting to cause drama. I've lost most of those friendships. I couldn't look at them the same way knowing they'd let me walk around clueless while everyone else knew my husband was cheating. Karen tried to apologize several times, but I wasn't interested. She'd made her choice. The divorce process was ugly. Tom tried to fight for custody, claiming I was being vindictive. But I had all the evidence of his affair, of his lies, of his betrayal. His lawyer eventually advised him to settle. We ended up with joint custody, but the kids primarily live with me. Tom has them every other weekend and one night during the week. It's not ideal, but it's better than trying to maintain the lie of a happy family. The kids struggled at first. Emma especially had a hard time understanding why Daddy didn't live with us anymore. I tried to explain in age-appropriate terms that sometimes adults make choices that hurt the people they love, and those choices have consequences. Lucas was too young to really understand. He just knew Daddy lived somewhere else now, and that made him sad. It's been almost a year since that Instagram post destroyed my life. I'm doing better now. I bought out Tom's half of the house. I redecorated, made it mine instead of ours. Started a new chapter. I heard through mutual acquaintances that Tom and Vanessa are still together. They moved in together a few months after our divorce was finalized. Part of me wonders if they'll last, if the excitement of the affair will translate into a real relationship. But mostly, I don't care. Dating again seems impossible. How do you trust someone new when the person you trusted most spent years lying to your face? When an entire group of people you considered friends helped betray you? But I'm trying. I went on a few dates. Nothing serious yet. It's hard to open up. Hard to believe someone when they say they're going somewhere or doing something. I find myself wanting to check their location, verify their stories. I hate that Tom turned me into this suspicious person. The worst part isn't even the cheating itself. It's the elaborate deception, the fake trips, the friends who covered for him, the wives who stayed silent. It's knowing that while I was home, taking care of our kids, making dinner, doing laundry, maintaining our home and our life, he was at a beach resort with another woman. It's knowing that every time he kissed me goodbye before a guy's trip, he was actually saying goodbye so he could go be with her. Every time he came home with stories about fishing or hiking, he was actually coming back from romantic getaways. The lies were so elaborate, so detailed. He really committed to the deception, and that's what hurts the most. Not that he cheated, but that he was so good at lying about it. Sometimes I look at Emma and Lucas and wonder what they'll remember from all this. Will they remember the fighting, the tears, the day their dad moved out? Or will they just remember having 2 houses, 2 bedrooms, 2 different lives? I hope they remember that their mom didn't settle for being treated badly, that when someone betrays you, even someone you love, you have the strength to walk away. That's the lesson I want them to learn from this disaster. As for Tom, I barely speak to him now. Just logistics about the kids, pickup times, school events, medical appointments. We're not friends. We're not even friendly. We're just 2 people who share children and nothing else. I saw him at Emma's dance recital last month. He was there with Vanessa. She smiled at me awkwardly. I ignored them both and focused on my daughter dancing on stage. That's what matters now. The kids, not the past, not the betrayal. Just moving forward and building a better life. Would I have done anything differently if I could go back? I don't know. Part of me wishes I'd been more suspicious, paid more attention, maybe caught him sooner. But another part of me knows that's not how you should have to live. You shouldn't have to monitor your spouse's every move. Marriage should be built on trust. Tom broke that trust. And once it's broken, it can't be repaired. At least not for me. So, single mom of two, divorced at 34, trying to figure out what comes next. It's not the life I planned. But it's better than living a lie. And that Instagram post that destroyed my marriage, I actually think it saved me, because who knows how much longer Tom would have kept lying if I hadn't seen that photo. Months, years, maybe forever. At least now I know the truth. And I can build a new life based on honesty instead of lies. That's worth something. If you're reading this and relating to any part of my story, please know you're not alone. Betrayal hurts. Finding out through social media adds an extra layer of humiliation. Having mutual friends who knew and didn't tell you makes you question everything. But you will survive. I'm surviving. And someday, we'll do more than just survive. We'll actually be happy again. So if you discovered your partner was lying about a trip and was actually with someone else, how would you handle it? Would you confront them immediately or investigate first? Could you forgive them if they claimed it was just a mistake? And what would you do about the friends who helped cover it up? I really want to hear your thoughts, because going through this alone was the hardest thing I've ever done. If you discovered your partner was lying about a trip and was actually with someone else, how would you handle it? Would you confront them immediately or investigate first? Could you forgive them if they claimed it was just a mistake? And what would you do about the friends who helped cover it up?